Well, of course, the news agenda coming up to today has been dominated by that horrific Sarah Everard case. So I imagine that Dominic Raab will be making a big effort to try to, convince women that they will be safe under his position as Justice Secretary. I know that he's been talking about updating the Victims Code so that women who are victim of sexual violence or crimes perpetrated by men feel safer. But we know that the justice system has been very underfunded, and that there have been concerns for a long time that people, especially women who have been fallen victim to sexual assault, haven't been treated correctly, or indeed the perpetrators haven't been sentenced in good time. So I think the Justice Secretary has a lot on his hands to try to convince women that they are safe on our streets. But also looking beyond the safety of women and looking at measures such like electronic tagging and such like. So I think he'll be trying to convince the Conservative membership that the government is tough on crime, and also will make sure that perpetrators are sentenced in good time.
Also, we're hearing, Emily, potentially about the idea of getting criminals to do things like clean out waterways. What have you heard?
Yes, well, I think this is something that would appeal to many people at Conservative Party conference. I think there's a lot of people who want to see the government being tougher on crime. What that looks like, whether that means tougher sentencing or, as you say, different punishments of that sort, I don't know. But it'll be interesting to hear what Dominic Raab has to say on that, and also what the Home Secretary has to say on that, because a lot of people at this conference haven't been too impressed with her handling of the illegal immigration crisis across the Channel. So I'm sure she'll be looking to up the rhetoric on that.
Yeah, and let's just talk about Insulate Britain. Back on the roads yesterday, causing chaos, havoc, mayhem,
distress.
However you want to describe it.
Yeah.
Major distress. I'm sure they'll be back on the roads again today, sadly. And Priti Patel has talked really tough on this, because this is the only way we can now go, isn't it? What can we expect to hear from her on this?
Well, I imagine she'll try to convince those watching that she is going to take a tougher stance on people like Insulate Britain. Of course, people haven't been particularly impressed so far with the fact that seemingly these protesters have been able to get away with stopping people from going about their daily business. A lot of people have called them, eco-terrorists. I personally think that's a little extreme, but I guess they are disrupting normal life. So I think they'll want to see Priti Patel take a very tough stance on Insulate Britain. I'm sure she'll do so. But of course, she has so many things to deal with. Trust in the police has obviously been damaged by the Sarah Everard case. But also it's been damaged by the fact that a lot of people view the police as treating different protests, differently depending on the political cause. So I think Priti Patel will want to make sure that people believe that the government is behind law and order, and that they're putting enough adequate resources and finance into policing, which has, of course, come under strain over recent years.
Also, we're going to be hearing from the Health Secretary. What do you anticipate if we had any sort of rumours of what's to come?
Well, I mean, it's going to be very, very difficult for Sajid Javid. I mean, talking to people at Conservative Party conference, there is an appetite for major reform of the NHS here. Many of the fringe events are talking about how we can, make the NHS function better. And of course, Sajid Javid is facing, I think currently we have over 5 million people waiting for operations and other treatment on the NHS. So that's going to be the big thing that he's going to have to tackle over the next months and years. Of course, COVID has dominated, but I believe that Sajid Javid will be wanting to look beyond that and looking how we can make the NHS fit for purpose, because at the moment, unfortunately, it is failing a lot of patients when it comes to basic treatment and also life-saving operations. So he's got an absolutely mammoth task on his hands, and I think he'll be wanting to reassure the membership and the public that he's a safe pair of hands moving forward.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.